Okay, I am attempting to reach Senator Joe Donnelly. Hold on 1 second, and I will. 202-224-4814.
Thank you for calling our office. I can only do my job well by listening to you. I want to hear your thoughts on the issues most important to you and your family. To leave me a message, please press 1. If you would like to speak with a member of our staff, please press 2. Thank you again for calling our office. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm a constituent of Senator Donnelly's. I live in Portage, Indiana, and I have some concerns that I would like to know what he intends to do about this debacle that's happening throughout from the top to the bottom. Our entire government stinks to high heaven. And I want to know what he intends to do about it. I don't care that he's a Democrat. It doesn't matter. Just because he bet on that horse doesn't mean that he stops, can't stop it when it's careening through the stands and killing people. I blame the Republicans too, because they should have stood up and done something a long time ago. So I want to know what he intends to do about it, all of it. I mean, that you got issues with the Attorney General, Homeland Security, EPA, IRS, people buying up massive amounts of illegal ammunition that is not for use inside or outside of America. It's banned by the Geneva Convention. Not to mention, it's illegal for any government officials to have a standing army against the American people. That there are so many laws, massive laws being broken here. How can does he support this administration?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
He's looking for, bipartisan ways to just kind of get the job done. As far as, all the different events that have occurred as of recently, I can't really put words in his mouth. I don't want to speak for him, but, I can certainly make sure that he's aware of your thoughts about it. But he's looking to work, he's always said this from the beginning, that he wants to work with members of both parties to make sure that, the citizens of Indiana are, given the best representation possible.
Well, let me give you a little background. I voted for Bush in 2000 and then realized I didn't like Bush so much. And I could not wait for him to get out of office. And I voted for Obama in 2008. And now I just want Bush back. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am an independent mother, an American citizen, and I am extremely concerned about the bullshit on both sides. Now, if people, but it seems to me, though, that when Democrats talk about bipartisanship, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the Republicans have to bend, the conservatives have to bend. If he really wants to do something bipartisan, then he should stand up for the conservative people in this nation. Stand up and say that, no, that these are what built the nation. That this is why we have America. The conservatives built it. The people that came over for religious freedom so that they could worship God as they choose, not so that we could have those freedoms distorted and used against us at every turn, and we're not even allowed to say anything about it. Not even allowed to say anything. And it's crazy. It's utter craziness. I was horribly abused as a child. And I swore that that would never happen to my children. And the only reason that it was allowed to happen to me is because good men and women did and said nothing. And I cannot tell you how bad it pisses me off that you guys are threatening that promise that I made to my children, because I take it very seriously. The abuse is coming from the people that are supposed to stop it. Now, I don't care if I would certainly hope that Mr. Donnelly's not involved in any of this. But if he's not involved, then he needs to stand up and do something. And if you guys really wanted to fix it, really wanted to fix all of these problems, you would get to the root of the problem, and you would make sure that this man is even eligible to be an elected representative, let alone the most powerful seat in the entire world. Craziness. Arming our enemies, screwing our allies repeatedly. what is a person supposed to think is going on? What is a person supposed to look at this and deduct that is happening? Are we just not supposed to look, not supposed to think, not supposed to speak? Because that's apparently what a lot of these administrations are acting like.
Well, I mean, I'll definitely make sure that Senator is aware of your thoughts and pass your comments along to him.
Well, I want to know what he intends to do. I would like to get, some sort of an answer, but that's going to be a problem because until I know which side he's on, I'm not telling him where I am. That would be craziness on my part.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you don't want a written response, I mean, I'd be happy to take your name and a mailing address. If you're willing to give it, then we can give you updates as it comes.
Well, if I give you my name and my mailing address, am I going to get audited by the IRS this year? Am I going to have Homeland Security bust down my door? Because these are the issues that people are concerned about. And Mr. Donnely as an elected representative should be concerned as well, that his constituents don't even feel that they can talk and tell their elected representative who they are.
Well, I can assure you, ma'am, that when we take people's names and mailing addresses, it's kept confidential within our office. It's just for constituent records and to be able to send out responses to people about what they call in. So, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable giving it, I completely understand. You don't need to. But if you did want a response, I'd be happy to take your name and information.
Well, the way I look at it, the Democrats need a second side, just as much as the Republicans do. We don't need a one-party nation, regardless of who it is. Mm-hmm. But people, craziness, are screaming for this poison and calling it medicine and screaming for it. Well, when my son was little, he was about 2 years old, and I was making bean dip and putting jalapenos in it, and he kept begging me for a pickle. I want a pickle, I want a pickle, crying, screaming, acting a fool. I kept telling him, no, you don't want this pickle. It's not a pickle. It's not what you think it is. Don't eat it. And eventually I said, here's your pickle. Eat it. And he didn't like it. And I will do the same damn thing, and I will push for the entire nation to do the same thing. They want socialist, communist, progressive? Have at it. Take your medicine, because I would rather it happen now in my time than have my children deal with it. So I'll vote Democrat. I'll have everybody that I know that is Republican vote Democrat, just so that you guys get exactly what you want and everybody could see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll make sure to pass the comments along to the senator and make sure that he's aware of your thoughts.
All right, well, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Oh, I always feel like I need a rape shower after I talk to those people.